Premier Heating and Air has rebates on new units starting at $1,000. Indoor air quality products are free with the purchase of a new unit, and all types of financing are available for new units and for repairs. Premier Heating and Air, a locally owned and operated company. Log on to dublin.premierishere.com or call 478-300-2633. And for a limited time only, enjoy a one-time exclusive offer for new customers with our dispatch fee waived on your next repair. So call or log on today. Premier is here.
Welcome to the show. It is another great day for business in Dublin and Lawrence County, and I'm so happy to have Dr. Echols with me today. Dr. Echols, thank you so much. We are going to talk about exciting new things happening at Brewton-Parker. I'm going to stop right there and let you make an announcement and tell us what's going on at Brewton-Parker.
Well, the big news is that we're moving to university status starting July 1. So we'll no longer be Brewton-Parker College, we'll be Brewton-Parker Christian University.
Awesome.
And this has been a process over a number of years as we've seen tremendous growth. We've also started new endeavors such as our nursing school and our theology school, our educational school. So it really fits us right now strategically where we have come from and where we think we can go in the next few years. Very exciting because we're very committed to our region. And I know we can talk about that today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chamber of Commerce and how Brewton-Parker fits in. It's missional for us to be a positive impact into the community.
Well, and I want to say thank you for that. And you guys have been longstanding members of the Chamber of Commerce, especially here in Dublin and Lawrence County, but regionally. And Dr. Echols, I did some research myself and found out some interesting things that I think our viewers might be interested in the history of the school and the fact of how it started with, I think, 4 buildings and 160 students maybe as a school, and then how this progression has taken place. If you could give us a quick run through, maybe a little bit of how this came to be.
Well, even though I look really old, I wasn't here in 1904. But we have a rich history that we draw from, and I'd like to really kind of unpack that on a couple levels. In 1904, public education was not really available in this region. So some Georgia Baptist churches got together and wanted to start a secondary school as well as elementary school. And it was a real prize for a community to be able to have this opportunity. Mm-hmm. So a lot of communities, I think maybe perhaps even the Dublin area may have been in the mix, but in this region desired to have this school, which was going to be the Baptist Institute at that time. And Ailey and Mount Vernon were able to secure the opportunity, and there's a great backstory to this. The minimum requirement was going to be 15 acres. Well, they only had 10. And there was an African-American man named Warren C. Crawley, and if you visit our campus, you'll see that we've dedicated an entire commons to this man. He was an ex-slave. He was emancipated at the end of the Civil War. He was very successful as a farmer and an entrepreneur, highly respected by all the community, black and white. And so he had adjacent property and donated the 5 acres. Well, I tell you, that was very magnanimous, considering these were white churches and the racial tensions of the time. He could have been embittered and said, "You guys are asking me for land, you know?" But he didn't do that. But what's really remarkable, and the reason we celebrate his legacy as part of our founding, is that at that time, strict segregation laws would not allow his grandchildren to come to our school. But he gave it anyway.
Wow.
Now that's how I spell Christianity.
Yeah.
And so there's a wonderful legacy even in the start of our community. And if you visit Brewton-Parker College today, you'll see an arch. And the significance of that arch, it was actually established in 1934, is half of it is in Ailey and half of it is in Mount Vernon. The two communities came together to establish our college, and Warren C. Crawley represented that. Now, we love to tell a funny story. Literally, Gates Hall, where Miranda is, as well as my office and other offices, is right in the middle of the dividing line between Ailey and Mount Vernon. So the joke is, if I want to avoid a call, I just go down the hall and my secretary says I'm out of town. That's an old joke. But it does represent how we have come together as a community. And then the school evolved, obviously, from being elementary and high school to junior college, and then college.
Is that around the 40s? I think,
To the junior college level, and then later becoming the college, four-year college in the 80s. And now this latest step, which we really think indicates our direction, our vision, what we think we can do in the future.
So that is awesome. And just to say again, you guys have continued to grow and evolve and progress. So share with our viewers a little bit about the different offerings, whether it's an undergrad program, whether it's dual enrollment, whether it's online, all the different ways that you can attend.
Right, and higher education today is about being multifaceted. You can't be one-dimensional. So we've grown the campus enrollment by 50% over the last 10 years. That's very exciting. But we've almost doubled our total enrollment, which this year is top 1540, and we're growing. And the great thing about that was we had a strategic plan to top 1,500 enrollment by 2027. Hey, we beat that. So we're looking for higher things, and we actually, which I can't even get into all the detail, we have some tremendous online opportunities that we're excited about that we think are going to bring in hundreds of students over the next few years. That's one venue we have. We also have a correctional program. This year we have about 150 students. That's very missional for us. And our teachers will tell you that our students there in the correctional program at our local prisons are actually some of our very top students. They're really highly motivated, and it's really missional for us. So that's another dimension. Of course, online is growing. We have about 36 majors right now, including recently, and we can talk a little more in depth about it, our nursing school, which we're very excited about. I'd love to unpack a little more there. Our theology school, Temple Baptist Theological Seminary. We're reorganizing our divisions to accommodate enlargement, and such is the case with our education school and so forth. So we have 36 different majors that you can take on campus with other concentrations, and then we're available online. We're on site, for instance, with a correctional program and some other areas. We're Georgia Baptist School. We're one of the 3 Georgia Baptist schools, Truett McConnell University, Shorter University. Now we're all 3 universities under Georgia Baptist. So we cooperate with Georgia Baptist, and one of the programs we're excited about is getting out in the associations. In fact, we have an on-site classroom opportunity for Lawrence County, here with the Lawrence County Baptist Association, for people to get training, very accessible to them. We're in 19 associations throughout the state. So as you can see, we have a very diverse delivery system, and really that's the key today. You can't be one-dimensional. You got to be multifaceted. That's
right. One more quick question, and we'll take a brief commercial break. You mentioned, I think, 36 different offerings. Is everything that's offered on campus also online, or is there any difference there?
We do not have every single specific major, but for instance, like in business, we might not have every single concentration online, but we have all the majors as well as most of the concentrations online. But there are a few specialized ones that you have to come to the campus for.
Fantastic. Hey, we're having a great conversation today, sharing exciting news about Brewton-Parker University College now. And we're going to take a really, really quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
When someone says the word bank, what comes to mind? For most folks, it's probably money or loans. Maybe it's false. The problem is, these are all just things. And a bank is not a collection of things. A bank is a collection of stories. If you've been around long enough, you've heard one of us say, "It pays to bank blue." The hero of our story is you. Every home bought, every business opened, every dream secured has been your story. We've just had a front row seat, and we can't wait to see what you do next.
Welcome back to the show. Again, Brewton-Parker College today. Great announcement, university now. And we are talking about different programs and offerings at the college. So I was doing research myself on it because I thought, okay, Brewton-Parker, theology, that's going to be the main study. That's it. That's what they do there. I did not realize the business offerings, the nursing classes, which I think you guys are doing some phenomenal work and having a lot of expansion and growth there. humanities, math, natural sciences. Talk to me about some of those programs, and if you would, a little more of a deep dive in the, I love the theology stuff, but the nursing program as well, because that's huge in this region.
Heath, it's really important for us to connect with the needs of our community. That's missional for us. One of our core values is servant leadership. So we're there to serve the community. We feel like that's how we represent Christ. And of course, ministry training is always a high priority for us. That's why we've established a separate school now, Temple Baptist Theological Seminary, which if you count the associational classes I was talking about, on campus, online, we are in 17 different countries. We have about 250 students that are training one way or another for ministry. So that's big for us.
That's awesome, yeah.
But that is only a small part of what we're doing. And let me just give you a couple examples. Nursing is something we're very excited about. We started this endeavor about 6 years ago. And let me share with you, getting a nursing school is not an easy process. The first thing you do is have to demonstrate the need to the state board. And the reason I wanted to mention that is we had fantastic community support. Yes, here in Dublin, we had fantastic community support. Political leaders wrote letters for us. It was pretty easy to prove the need. All you have to do is go to the hospital administrators.
Right.
And they're having to contract with sometimes internationals coming at much more expense for the hospital. So they're happy to have more nurses being trained here. And we know there are other schools as well, and we're grateful that they're doing what they're doing. But the truth is, there's not enough nursing schools right now to supply the demand, particularly in this region. So we were able to, with a lot of community support, get the approval to start our program, long process. But what we're so excited about is how God blessed. Now, there's always the naysayers, goodness, you'll never get qualified people. There's a shortage of nursing instructors, a very acute shortage. There's a shortage of nursing directors, and the naysayers, you'll never get people to come. Oh, were they wrong? God sent us people who felt the Christian mission that we have was part of their calling, and we just have an outstanding faculty. And here's the really great news. Our first class, our inaugural class last spring, had 100% passage on the state board exam.
Wow.
That's like winning the Super Bowl the first year.
Absolutely.
And we give credit to God and our wonderful staff. And because of that, it accelerated. You have provisional approval. Normally it takes 4 years to get your final approval. Because we had 100%, we got it the first year.
Awesome.
So we are all set. We have had phenomenal support in grants and giving. We have absolutely the state-of-the-art equipment. I just have to tell you a couple examples. We have one particular mannequin, these simulators as you have now. Well, my wife's a retired RN. When she started, they just kind of threw you out there in the clinicals with a nurse by your side, but now they get to do the simulators. This one simulator cost $120,000. We call it HAL after the movie, 2000. It can simulate anything. And so our instructors are in an observation room. It's kind of creepy. It talks to you and everything. Then we have one that actually births a child. Can you believe that?
Oh, wow.
So we have been able, in fact, this one model we had, Brewton-Parker College and Emory University were the only ones that had this model. I think some others may have gotten it now. So I want to say, if you're interested in nursing, come to Brewton-Parker College. We have a great record for passing the NCLEX. We have the state-of-the-art equipment. And here's the big news. We've gotten some breakthrough with some funding that we're waiting on with the federal government with some of the slowdowns in the process we've had. We've got some really good indication. We hope to break ground in maybe 3 months on a brand spanking new nursing building that's going to be state-of-the-art.
Awesome.
Will be equal to anything in South Georgia for sure.
That is fantastic.
So that's our nursing program, and we feel like that we're sending out ambassadors for Christ that's going to help our community, because old guys like me and our communities are aging. We're going to need that nursing care. That's just one example, and I could unpack others as we have time, but that's the one that really people are asking about the most right now.
That's great, and you mentioned several times in those descriptions, and something which I would think with Brewton-Parker, but when I was reading your mission and your vision and all of that together, I summed it up just to say to honor and to serve Jesus Christ.
Yes,
and I love seeing that on your website there. That's very important, and God does honor the work that you're doing. And so, yeah, you and I know, some people would say, oh, it's coincidence, we got the people we needed, or this fell into our lap, but we know where our help comes from.
God's provisions have been amazing.
So something really important, I think, to some young people today. Some love the online, love to stay at home and just do their thing. But a lot of folks, 18, 19 years old, I want to get out of the house, just wherever, and they want to go live on campus. Right. You guys also have campus housing. Talk to me a little bit about the housing situation there, and talk to me a little bit about cost and fees, because from what I could tell, you guys are really, really in line with being one of the least expensive colleges to attend.
Well, thanks for kind of giving us that opportunity to share about our facilities. One of the things we've been really committed to is to provide the very best facilities. And over the last 10 years, we've been able to build several new dorms. We're in a constant process of renovating and updating. Interestingly enough, one of the things we're finding now, this is a new trend, is a lot of students want private rooms. So we've been building toward that goal of offering more private rooms. We're still working on that to try and accommodate that. But our housing has greatly increased the capacity that we have there. So we do have the option of being on campus. We have a lot of students that come from other regions and areas, so obviously they need housing. But we also have a large commuter population. That's one of the things that's really fueled our growth. We're getting a number of students driving here from Lawrence County and other adjacent counties. That's really fueled our growth. As far as cost, as far as I know, we are as low or lower than any other private college or university in the state of Georgia. Now, those things are always shifted around.
Well, you got to be close. I looked at your fees.
It's kind of hard because you don't know how much scholarship they're giving, stuff like that. So I'll make a little bit of a kind of a disclaimer there, but we're definitely low. Here's the thing I'd like to share. And we don't have anything negative to say about anybody. We appreciate what every institution of higher education offers. Part of my training was at a state school, part of it was at a private school. So we see the value of both. But we feel like there needs to be a Christian institution of higher education. We're the only one, the only 4-year accredited Christian institution of higher education south of Macon, all the way to Jacksonville, Florida, and into the Panhandle. So we serve a very large region, and we want that to be affordable. So here's the thing I would say. Sometimes when you get online and you look at the cost, just make sure you do the total. Because other institutions might be lower on tuition, but we have very low fees, and our room and board is very low. And then we offer a lot of scholarships. So we tell anyone that's interested in Brewton-Parker College, come talk to us. Don't just give a little kind of brief look online. Let us sit down with you and kind of compare apples to apples and what we can do, and you'll find that we're very affordable.
I can tell you I have 3 college children myself. One is still in school, very affordable compared to some of the prices and the things that I've seen.
We want to keep that as low as we can.
We want to take one more commercial break, and then we'll come back and wrap things up. We'll be right back.
You ready to meet the latest addition to the family? The money you saved us with auto owners helped make it all possible. It really is the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Excuse me?
Third best thing. Third best thing.
Auto Owners offers discounts for life, home, car, and business insurance because they think the more you protect, the more you should save. That's simple human sense.
Ask Curry Maffett Insurance in Dublin and Augusta if auto owners make sense for you.
Hi, this is Meg Greer Evans with Middle Georgia Estate Planning, and just welcoming you to give us a call at the office if you have any questions about long-term care, whether that be a trust or a will. We could also help you with a power of attorney or health care directive, and with long-term care needs for special needs individuals. We're here to help. Give us a call at 478-272-2885 or visit our website at www.middlegaestateplanning.com.
Welcome back to our show. I'm learning all kind of exciting things today about our good friends over at Brewton-Parker, and a couple more things I want to make sure we cover today. I want to end with more on the educational side and different things, but just a fun thing for me. And one of the things I noticed, and some people may not even realize, you guys are heavily involved in athletics as well, and the Barons. and I thought, well, okay, what is a Baron? And so I had my thought, but then I've talked to one person on your team already and found out it was something different than I thought. So talk to me just real briefly about your athletics and the Barons.
Well, it's unique, that's for sure.
Yes.
It comes from the Scottish heritage of our community. And if you go back and look at the feudal period of Scotland, the Barons were sort of on the low end of the feudal ranking, but they were landowners. And an interesting thing was they actually were the primary ones to provide knights and their equipment to the king. So that's kind of why we have this warrior image. But it is unique. And if you ever see two Brewton-Parker people out, they kind of give a fist bump, hey, Baron, and everybody's like, what are they talking about?
Well, disciples,
So it's unique, it's kind of the
Yeah.
community. We talked about maybe changing mascots, and we've had a lot of different ideas, but we couldn't come up with anything, you know, the lions, tigers, bears, all the usual things.
Right.
So right now we're going to stick with Barons, it's unique.
I kind of like it.
Yeah, it's
like I
kind of
said,
different,
and just the fact that you're supporting and helping and growing and sending people out, like I said, could almost be used as disciple in that same sense there.
We're kind of working that narrative.
But tell me, football, baseball, basketball?
Well, we don't have football.
Okay.
We have 18 sports altogether.
18, that's right,
That's includes men's, women's. We do very well for our size. We are kind of the David and the Goliath. We're the toughest NAIA conference in America by far, and we play against schools that have 5,000 students, $1 billion endowments, those kind of things. But we do quite well.
Awesome.
And we've won some significant things here recently, particularly in individual national meets in wrestling and track and so forth. Yes.
Fantastic. All right, that was just for me. I'm a
Yeah.
sports guy, and I noticed that when I was doing some of my research. So two, I think, fairly new programs, and share a little bit with us about those new programs, new offerings.
Just an example, we're trying to meet the needs. We're very sensitive to what are the trends that students are interested in. And one new area is in the field of kinesiology, which opens up so many opportunities from physical therapy to sport, exercise, science. There's so much involved in that now. In the old days, when I came along, you just kind of got out there and did some calisthenics and the coaches didn't think about it. But today, even at the high school level, there is very intentional training. So this field is opening up and we are seeing an explosion. In fact, right now we have about 80 students in that major.
Wow.
And I was sharing off camera that we're excited about expanding our faculty. We already have some faculty, but we're going to be adding to that. So that's an example of how we've responded to what we see a growing field. I did want to mention about our education program, again, among the many majors we have. But we've had tremendous success. I mentioned earlier that we had 100% passage on the NCLEX. Well, we've had 100% on the GACE. That's the test that teachers take to certify as a teacher. So I want to say to anyone interested in education, you can come to Brewton-Parker. You're going to really have a high quality experience and a great opportunity to pass that GACE test.
I love that, and I like the fact that, to me, I still think of, when I think of Brewton-Parker, I don't ever want to label anybody as smaller or not as, but growing, innovative, emerging, those types of words. And when I look at your website and I talk with your folks, that's what I see and what I hear. And I just love the excitement and the enthusiasm when people talk about your school.
Well, we're really grateful, and we just see some really bright opportunities ahead. I do want to say a quick word about, why would you maybe consider Brewton-Parker? Hey, there's a lot of great institutions.
You're cheating now. That was my wrap up.
Oh, okay. Well, I jumped ahead of you then, so I'll wait.
No, I want to, and we're good. We're about, unless there's anything else you wanted to cover.
No, I think you've covered it really well.
I would really like for you to look into your camera and just tell folks that this is why I think Brewton-Parker should be your choice.
There are a lot of great opportunities in our region for higher education. What's unique about Brewton-Parker? When I talk to people in terms of decision making, the families and the students, one of the things they say about Brewton-Parker, it feels like family. When you come to our campus, there is a connectivity that you have because we are smaller. We're large enough to offer some really quality education in some particular areas. We don't have nuclear engineering, okay? There's things we can't do. What we do, we try to do very, very well. But let me just give you one example. We got a very, very large grant a couple of years ago to expand our Student Enrichment Center. We have 7 full-time employees dedicated to student success. Transition from high school to college is not always easy, even if you're a good student. If you come to Brewton-Parker, you've got people coming alongside you to counsel you, to tutor you, to encourage you. The professor's going to know your name. You're not going to go into a freshman class with 100 students. You're going to go into a much smaller, 20, 25. Most of your classes will be 12, 15. That kind of atmosphere really is supportive of our students. We keep watch on our students, make sure they're doing well. I think that, along with our Christian mission, which is primary, is what we offer uniquely at Brewton-Parker College.
Hey, sounds great to me. I love what you're doing there, and I can't imagine why anybody, to me, you know, I talk to a lot of people and I want to get out of Dublin, I want to get out of Lawrence County, but as far as your education goes, and education is not cheap these days, get the best education you can while you're getting it, and yeah, that more one-on-one in a classroom, I imagine not only the relationships with the faculty or your team, but even with the other fellow students is going to be at a different level in a college that you're providing there.
Well, we believe our students have great potential, that God's given them gifts. Our job is to help develop that to the maximum for the glory of God.
Fantastic. Hey, thank you for your time today. We appreciate what you guys are doing.
Thank you for this opportunity.
And thank you for joining us, helping us make today and every day a great day for business in Dublin and Lawrence County.